last of all, we're going to have Paul McLeod, who's just a long-time resident of the Illawarra. Thanks, Paul.
G'day, everybody. I'm just a normal bloke, a former shunter out at Port Kembla Steelworks. My family, including me obviously, have voted for Labor ever since I can remember. Me personally, 45 years. They've never disappointed me like they have with this project. This is unbelievable that they're going to throw that rubbish out in our oceans. How can they do that? How can they do that? I found a new definition of net zero. It's Chris Bowen's intelligence. Anyway, I've got a few coins for you. I had to do a bit of research. I'm not a school teacher, so I might have a little bit of trouble with the reading, but I'll just do my best. Did you know that Chris Bowen has 56 offshore wind farms planned for the Australian coastline? 56, not 6, 56. And that's directly taken from 4C Marine Intelligence, which is a global organisation, right? They sent me that information because, by the way, I also run Aussie History, which is connected to Lost Wollongong on Facebook. And people send me this stuff, right? I didn't really know it was this serious because I never knew anything about it. I was lucky enough to get involved with Grant, and since then, I just can't believe this is happening to our town. Unbelievable. Right, did you know the latest report from Net Zero, which is an organisation, Net Zero Australia, puts the cost of 82% renewable energy at $1.5 trillion by the end of the decade? We will need a further $7 to $9 trillion by 2050. How are we going to pay that back? What a joke that is for something in Germany that they've tried for 30 years that hasn't worked. 82% renewable can't supply base power. They can't, because it's diluted energy, it's unreliable, and the only thing that is reliable is the subsidies you pay. The figures just for this government, they've subsidised renewables in the last financial year by $25 billion. 25 billion. I don't mind the solar on houses. That's a good idea. So I'm not against renewable, but this bullshit of sticking things in our ocean just is not going to happen on my watch, I can tell you now. And by the way, just so you know where net zero carbon emissions come from, was something made famous in 2005 by Ogilvy advertising campaign for a fossil fuel company, BP, to popularise the idea of carbon footprints for individuals. In other words, it's not them, it's our fault. Unbelievable. All this emissions is all our fault. We've got to look after our own farts or something. I don't know. Did you know many offshore wind farms are owned by oil and gas companies? That's the truth, right? It's the greatest scam of all time. They get more money from making the wind turbines than they do from their previous work. Did you know the main purpose of Illawarra offshore wind farm is to supply electricity for BlueScope Port Kembla for gas hydrogen exports? That's the reason. Nothing to do with us.
Yes.
And the gas hydrogen exports are supposed to be clean energy. The gas hydrogen market is already saturated by other suppliers, and somehow our labour and ability is going to make it cheaper and more affordable for these big companies overseas that want to buy it. I don't think so. I think China might knock us off there. Just a thought. Did you know that BlueScope sponsor the University of Wollongong? And so the University of Wollongong is now a supporter of offshore wind.
Yay!
I know you knew this one, but I'm going to say it anyway. Did you know offshore wind turbines have a negative impact on whale migration and bird life, and they are a total economic failure with high construction and maintenance costs as seen in the USA, the UK and Europe for over 30 years. And it's proposed by this bloke for us to take on. You've got to be kidding. He's only got to make one phone call to the Germany energy minister, who knows that they just about went broke over it. Right, so what they are, they've re-fired their coal stations, and they buy nuclear energy from France. So we're not going to take any risk over this. It's not going to happen. And the other thing is, half the finance people, they know this. Offshore wind is so risky compared to onshore wind, it's ridiculous. The sea will take everything back. Don't you worry about that. And should we allow corrupt self-interest to wreck our beautiful marine environment? Or say no? They're up. Do you want offshore wind farms to destroy our fishing, surfing and tourism interest in the Illawarra when we have a net loss of at least 5,000 jobs? I don't think so. Thank you very much.